Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today it's a sunny Friday.
Friday's it! Saturday, Sunday, what?
Meaning that we're only 2 days away from the start of the 2021 VFC season. And boy, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited because I just want to know where we are. And, I want to know how it is to drive this car in race conditions and share the track with my mates, So I'm really feeling the buzz now. I'm really excited, and man, since the preseason test we had 2 weeks prior, so many people keep sandbagging without showing what they're capable of. In this preseason test, I talked about my personal goals, the team's objectives, and also giving you guys a chance to get to know the other teams. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can find this video right here or in the description down below. But aside of that, some regulations has been changed. And to give you guys a better chance to follow and understand what's going on in the races, I was thinking let's talk about it for a minute, about the changes for 2021. But before we get into the details, I just want to mention that over 90% of you watch my videos in the last 2 months have not subscribed to my channel. So if you do enjoy this video and want to see more of those in the future, please consider hitting that subscribe button. This little effort from you guys helps me really out a lot. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Okay, so I divided the changes in 2 parts, the organizational ones and the racing related ones. I want to suggest let's start with the organizational ones, as these are the most boring ones and also quickly done. So the first change is the race start, which is postponed from 7 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Middle Eastern Time. And these 30 minutes, I guess it's not a big deal. But for me it is, because it means that I have less video work time left into the night, meaning that I can go back to my bed a bit earlier, especially considering that I have to get up at 6:30 a.m. to get back to my job. So I think it's a big thing for me. The second change is the reserve driver rule. As a team owner, you have the right to have a reserve driver, just in case if your regular one is not able to participate in a race. You have the right to use that driver as many times as possible, but your reserve driver shouldn't have more starts than your regular driver, because then, well, it should be other way around, that your regular driver should be your reserve. But here's a change. We have also a second division, the D2 division, which is pretty much the Formula 2. And if you have a Formula 2 team, a junior team, you are allowed to use these drivers as a substitute as well, but only 6 times each driver, because these guys have to focus on their own championship. So this was the change in that side. The third change is a bit more important now, as it's the race calendar. It's now a bit more compact, I would say. We have now 18 races instead of 16 like last year, and all within 7 months. So the last race will be in Mexico on October 10th. And this is a rather interesting thing because we have no summer break there. And I like the summer break because I like just to, lay back and don't think about sim racing at all, just enjoy the summer basically. And this is different this year. Also, we have 4 back-to-backs, and 2 of them are right in May. So on May 2nd and May 9th we have a race. May 9th is in Monaco. Then 2 weeks break, and then again 2 races in 2 weeks. So it's definitely more compact, and we just want to spend the time off season more in preparation for the upcoming year in terms of new mod and so on. So there's a reason why it's done like that, but for me as a driver it's gonna be an interesting thing to have shorter breaks in between the races, because I sometimes like to do nothing and just relax, So I think most important thing on that side is the qualifying format, as we ditched the one-shot quali for good, and we're now back at a free session around 15 minutes and unlimited laps. It was just more gambling than anything else, and I was not really happy with that because, as I said, it's just gambling. It's not showcasing your skill. It's just gambling whether the weather is right or the right grip is there on a track. It's just So you're lucky and you end up in the front, or you're just unlucky and end up on P17 or something like that. So I really like how it's now done, and really looking forward to it. And the final change is the warm-up session, which is back now. We deactivated it mid through the last season due to some, I think it was mod-related issues. We were just standing on a grid waiting for the lights to come on, but nothing happened for the entire time. So we ditched it completely, and I'm really looking forward to it again, because it's a better chance to get up to temperature of tires and brakes, and it was really tricky, really risky to start on cold tires and brakes, which caused some rather difficult situations. So now it's all tested, it works fine, and I'm really happy that it's back again. Okay, so putting the organizational things by side, we now get to the most important things, the racing related changes. And let's start with, well, in my opinion, one of the most important ones are the engines, because we now have only 3 power units for the entire year for each car. And if you wear out your first one in the first race, you can choose whether you can take a new one, or you start the second race with an already used one from Melbourne, with, of course, less power. And this is something I have never experienced in a sim racing league yet. So I'm really keen to find out how it works. And it's definitely something new for me. So after almost 10 years of experience, to find out something new is pretty rare right now. So the regulated gear ratio is another thing which is very interesting, because every team has to pre-select their own gear ratio before the preseason test in Barcelona, and you can only change it once in a year. It's not like last year where you can change all the gears manually. You just set it up for yourself beforehand, before the season starts, and you stay with that. With all the differences in between the gears, it will stay like that to the end of the year. The only change you can do is to put your gear ratio a bit more to the speed side, or to have a better acceleration. And this is another thing which is really interesting, because you have to compromise theoretical pace in some races, and you can move it a bit more to the speed side, or making it a bit shorter. And you have to think about every single race before you apply that. Another subject we've already talked about in the preseason test are the tires. And this is the point where it's now getting more into details. So let me tell you something. We have 3 suppliers. Pironi and Yasuda are 2 of them. The Pironi tire is more of the qualifying tire, if you want. It is a very fast tire, very easily to get up to temperature or even above. If you want to go on a longer stint, this is a wrong tire for you, because this tire has an extremely high wear. And the Yasuda tire, on the other hand, is a tire which is, well, a bit harder. And there is the point that it is, well, slightly slower in the qualifying, but the peak by both tires are pretty early in their lives. And last year, we had the Greenfield tires, which were a weapon at some points. This tire is the medium one. And this tire was, interestingly, just more slower than the Pironi in the qualifying, but the wear was so much less. We have the Dursum tires. The Dutch company is now new in a championship, as Greenfield left, and my car now has the Dursum tires. And here's the thing, this tire is pretty much the same Greenfield tire. Yes, we also got now 2 compounds, the Option and the Prime, just like anybody else. The point with the tire is that it's, of course, slower in the qualifying, but the longer you go with the tire, the better it gets, the faster you get, because the peak of the tire is way later than the peak of Pironi and Yasuda. And this is for us the best opportunity. And this tire is even cheaper. It costs only $6 million, while I think Pironi and Yasuda cost 10 million as far as I know. This is going to be really, really, really interesting, and I'm happy that we decided to take the Dursum tires. Yes, it's a new supplier, but hey, we knew what we were doing in November, and we have our reasons to take this tire. And the final point I want to talk about is the penalty point system. Something which I'm not really happy with. It's like in real Formula 1. You get a penalty point for a misbehavior beside your in-race or post-race penalty. And yeah, this is something I even dislike in real Formula 1, because we all try to generate more action, more overtaking action, and I don't even talk about DRS overtakings. So we wanna see some more overtaking, some more action on the track. At the same time, we penalize drivers who are ready to take the risk, and God knows what may go wrong, but sometimes shit happens. So I'm really thinking about, just better outweight my opponents until they make a mistake or they just simply run out of tires, instead of risking a maneuver where I get a drive-through penalty, which is the lowest penalty, by the way. There's no 5-second penalty, and plus a +1 point on my account. And this is why for me it's a contradiction, because as I said, we still want to overtake on the track. We want to offer you guys something and not just a snooze fest, because otherwise you can just watch 1-2 Mercedes finish in real F1. And we want to offer you something, but at the same time, hey, it's there now and I have to accept it. So if you do something wrong, I think the maximum is 2 points, and if you get 5 of them, you will have exclusion for the next qualifying session. Not sure that whether you have to start from the pit lane or from the back of the grid, which is, well, maybe not the smartest idea, especially if you get to manage 5 points, then there's a reason why you got them, And with further 4, so in total 9 points, you will get 1 race ban. If you get 15 in total, you will be banned for 2 races, and if you add another 3 points, you will get a race ban for 3 rounds. But when the season ends, all the points get erased and we all start at 0. Well, so these are not many changes, and I have only just, not much, but it felt like I was talking more about it than it just actually is. But to me it's important. To me it's important that if you watch my races, that you know what's going on, that you know why am I pitting right now, even being on, P2 or something like that. Because the thing with the tires, with the engines, with the qualifying format, with all the things together combined, it makes a very interesting mix for the upcoming season. And also that still everyone is sandbagging. We still don't know where we might end up. So it's a huge thing to decide a strategy. So yeah, that's actually it from my side. Thank you very much for watching, for listening. If you really enjoy the video, please give me a like and a follow, just to be informed about the rest of the videos. And until then, I would say, I would practice some more laps, and yeah, then see you on Sunday in Melbourne. Goodbye, I'm out.